Hey everyone, welcome back. Now let's create some options. So let's say when we add an item to our inventory, we want to be able to choose between whether we want to use it, drop it, trash the item, split the stack, or simply cancel out of selecting any options at all, right? So we can open up the inventory folder, widgets, and create two new widgets. The first one is going to be our inventory button, and we're going to create a custom button that we can add to different widget elements and use the exact same functionality, so you can keep things a bit more uniform. When you change the design of one, all of them would change, and you don't need to go through the hassle of manually adding buttons and renaming and all of that. So within this here, we can just duplicate this and call this item options. And first, let's set up the inventory button. I'm going to get a size box and change the view mode to desired on screen. I'll then select the size box and make it a variable. I'm going to rename this to button size. And next we can add an overlay because we want to add multiple elements to this single size box. I'll then add a button and lastly a text. I'm going to select the button and rename this to just be button and make it a variable. And for the text, we're going to rename this to be button ID and also make this a variable. I'm going to set the size to be something like 24. That's fine. And for the button, with the button selected, I'm going to set the vertical and horizontal alignment to be fill. Now we can set everything up. By the way, for the button ID, let's ensure that it is anchored to the center. And now we can move on. Let's head over to the graph. We can delete the event construct and event tick. And let's click the button variable and override the onClicked event. And we will create a new onClicked event dispatcher so that when we click the button, it will call this dispatcher, giving us the ability to create a new event in different widget blueprints. I'm going to get my button size variable here and set the override. I'm going to copy the entry text and I'm going to select width override. Then I'm going to drag off again and select height override. Now with this done, all we need to do is make some variables. I'm going to promote this to a variable and I'm going to call this button width and button height. Right. All we need to do now is set the button ID. So just drag this into the graph and search for set text. We're going to select the function. And I want to promote the in text to a variable as well. And this will be the button text. Now we can place all of these in a category called configuration and give it some default values. For the width, I'm going to give it a value of 200. For the height, I'm going to give it a value of 40. And for the button text, I'll just give a default text of none. Now, when we head back to the designer, you can see the button is already set up. The size is adjusted, as well as the text is also changed. I'm going to select the button and change the normal tint from this color to something like 0.01. And then I'm going to hit Shift and right mouse button to copy it and Shift and left mouse button to paste it for the outline. Now we can close this inventory. Actually, let's select the button ID and ensure that the visibility is set to non-hit testable self only, so that when we move our mouse over the button, the text doesn't interrupt it. We can now close this and open up the item options. Let's first change the view mode from fill screen to desired on screen, and then we can get a canvas panel, drag an overlay into that canvas, and next we can drag a vertical box into the overlay. Within this vertical box, we can drag in our inventory button, and we can duplicate this a few times. Then we can select the overlay and select size to content to be true. Next, I'm going to select the two middle buttons and give it a padding of 5 to the top and 5 to the bottom. So there's a bit more space in between. And I'm going to select the third one and remove the padding from the top to keep things uniform. Now, I'm going to select the first button here, and we don't have the settings, so let's right click on this button and select Edit Widget Blueprint. We want to head over to the graph and ensure that within the configuration category, all of these variables are set to instance editable. We can close this now. So here under the configuration category, we have the options. For the first one, I'm going to rename this to be use item. This one will be to drop the item. We're going to do split stack. And lastly, we can call cancel. I'll highlight all of these buttons and make sure that isVariable is set to true. And now we can set the name of each widget here, so we can tell the difference within the event graph. I'm just going to copy the name and paste it. Save myself the time. Right. With this done, we can create our item options widget whenever we right click on one of the inventory slots that contains an item. What we can do here is open up the graph, add a variable. I'm going to call this inventory slot, and this will be of type S inventory slot, and we can make this instance editable and expose on spawn. So we can pass the data all the way down. When we create the widget, we can get the data from the inventory slot itself, pass the inventory data down, straight down to this item options widget, so we can tell which slot we are currently interacting with, and we can get the data from it and do a bunch of other great stuff within the item options widget. With this done, we can open up our HUD. And in here, we can duplicate the create inventory widget function. And I'm going to call this create item options. We can then choose the item options widget. I'll delete this from here, promote this to a new variable called item options, and connect this to the add to viewport node. I won't need an output, so I can delete this one. And we only want to add this to viewport if the item options widget is not valid. So let's ensure that we replaced that variable. And now we can do if the item options widget is already valid, but we click on another item, then we want to remove it and recreate it. So I'll drag from here and call remove from parent, and then we can nullify this variable so that the data isn't saved constantly or overridden, and then we can add some reroute pins and ensure to connect this back to your create item options widget here. For the inventory slot, we can drag this all the way to the input. I'll then get it as a local variable and connect it right here. We may need access to the inventory as well, so I guess we can do that now. Back in the item options widget, I'm going to create a variable called AC inventory and select a new object reference for it and ensure that instance editable and expose on spawn is set to true. And back in the RPG HUD, we can refresh this to see it and drag it as an input as well. I'll then get it and do the similar thing with the inventory slot. Wrong one. Right. With this done, all we need to do is create like a removal function for this as well. I'm going to duplicate the remove inventory widget function, and I'll call this remove item options. I'll just replace the variables. And that's all. Let's head back and go to the widgets folder. Let's open up the inventory slot into the graph, and we can override a function which is the on mouse button down function. So we want to check if the mouse event is down, and the key that we want is the right mouse button. We also want to check if the slot contains an item, so we'll add an AND boolean and drag in slot contains item. So only if both of these conditions are met, then we can proceed off of the true pin. If it returns false, then we can exit unhandled. If it's true, then we can just get our RPG HUD, and we can call create item options. It's asking for the inventory slot and the inventory reference. We already have the inventory slot right here, and within the components section, we have the reference to our inventory component. Lastly, we can exit this function successfully by calling the handled function. Good. So now if I head back to my item options designer, I'll just add a border to my overlay and place it to the top right before my vertical box, and I'll set the vertical and horizontal alignment to be fill. I'll give it a dark color, so let's do 0.01, and I'll give it a alpha of something like 0.75. I guess that's about it. I'm gonna select the vertical box here and drag it onto the border, and then I'll select the border and set a padding of something like 10. Now let's give it a test. If I add some items and I right mouse button, it created the inventory options. Right, we can click on all of them. If I try to close now, we have an issue where the buttons get focused on. So let's fix that one, and then we can fix the positioning of the item options when we first create it. Let's open up the item options first, head to the graph. I'm going to delete the event pre-construct and the event tick, and I'm going to get the mouse position on viewport, and then I want to select my overlay, make sure it's a variable. I'm going to rename this to just be overlay, and as you can see here, the setting is slot as canvas panel slot. So that's the function that we'll need to call when we get our overlay. We can search for slot as canvas slot. And now we can call set position, connect the return value, and if you want to add some offset to where the widget is positioned, you can just break the structure here, or we can just call it add, and add whatever offset you want on the X or the Y, and then return it. Now when we right mouse button, it will create the item options exactly where our mouse is positioned, which would be on the inventory slot. So let's fix the button focusing issue. I'm going to open up my button, select the button within the hierarchy, and I'm going to search for focus. And we can see is focusable is set to true. We want to uncheck that. Now we will have another issue, which would be when we close our inventory, the item options widget would still be on screen. And we will have another issue where when we click a button and we close the inventory, it would close, but after 2 clicks, because the inventory would now lose focus because I tried to focus on the item options, and we will still end up in a few little issues. So what we can do in the RPG HUD, when we remove the item options, we can just get the inventory display and convert it to a validated get, ensure that it is still valid. It will, but this is just for safety. And then we can call a function called setFocus. And then we can exit the function by calling a return node, And that's that. Now in our item options, let's override the onClicked event for the cancel button. And here we can do, let's get our RPG HUD. Make sure that it is valid. And from here we can call the remove item options function. And when we close our inventory, we also want to close the item options, so we can just duplicate this, head over to the inventory slots. Over here in, where is it? It's actually in the inventory display. On key down, we can just call the functionality right here as well. So when you close the inventory, we also want to remove it if it is valid. So I'll delete this and this. And that's all. So here we can now give it a test. Hit play, add some items, and now if I right mouse button, the widget appears here. I can now click. I can still close the inventory. We have some issues here still. I will address this very soon. And we can right mouse and cancel. Can do it for anyone, any item. If I click this one, then I click this one, it will then remove the first one and create the other. Can cancel it, and now I can close the inventory. So when we cancel, we also want to update our focus, and we will do that in the next episode. That's it for this one, guys. See ya.